Good morning and welcome to the broadcast. Man, it's good to be back. I took a break from doing YouTube for a couple of reasons, mostly just to give my mind a rest, and I'll probably talk about that a little bit during the video. But to kick it off, let me tell you what we're doing today. We are back at the roadside mowing projects. We're actually on a different job. This one we just moved to, and it's a really nice little neighborhood, and I am making a mess of their roads, but that's okay. I actually sent back the Bushmaster. I was calling it the wrong thing. I was calling it a Brushmaster, but it's actually Bushmaster. I took it back to the rental place because it really does just sling stuff everywhere. And here I've got a lot of houses around. Houses, and you can see a new house up there being built, maybe, not sure. This is an ideal place to show this thing off and how it works. And I'm kind of throwing what's the word I'm looking for? I'm not being careful on this head at this point. You know, I put a lot of time in on it, and it's got a lot of hours. I don't know how many, but I don't have my switch hooked up that slows my flow rate down. And what I was having to do was actually listen to that head and work the controls with my thumb to keep it from spooling up too high. Well, today we're going to just run this thing wide open the whole time, and we're going to stop every so often and fill the ends and see if the bearings are getting really, really hot. But I am going to tell you, this thing is eating today. You get this thing spooled up fast enough, I'm going to try to keep that head in y'all's view without having too big of tops. It doesn't really kill that head down as much. And once you've got that head spooled way up, it's hard to get it to stop. You know, I still have to stop, like on these honey locusts, they're wiry like wood, you know. They do not like to chip. And they will slow the head down. So I'm not going to try to run anymore. Boy, it slung that sucker out. I'm not going to run it anymore any less aggressively. That last job we did really well on. We ended up working 33 hours and made about $8,800. So for those of you who made it past that first couple of minutes of video, you got the juicy details. I need to figure out how many feet we mulched, but I think it was around 20,000 feet. There was a lot of heavier brush, kind of like this spot. This is actually not as big a saplings as the other job. The other job had some quite big stuff. Air conditioner really stinks, but I'll tell you what, it doesn't work good. It doesn't literally stink. So I think on that other project, for each pass, we were averaging, like, this head is 3 feet from there to there. 3 feet. And we were making about 20 cents for a pass that's about like this per foot, moving from this way to this way. Each foot is 20 cents, so right there was about $1.20. Another $1.20. Another $1.20. See what I'm getting at here, folks? $1.20. Now you can raise your rates, you know, if you're mowing nothing but stuff that's like 4 inches in diameter and it's really close together, You know, you can go up $1.50 a foot. Believe you me. Now, like these little saplings here, you can just cut them at the bottom, but I prefer to just kind of nip the top off and then kind of work my way backwards and then skim that ground. So that slows you down a little bit, but not enough to kill you. You can also just drive along here. Sorry about that glare. I'll get you guys back once we're out of the sun. So that was the uphill side. Let's switch to the downhill side. Now this downhill side, the way me and this customer have this job structured, what I'm doing is I'm tracking along the road in this direction and I'm making a clean sweep, which means, let me get this head spooled up. Alright, I'm sticking the stick, this part that's moving, let me stabilize myself. Alright, so the stick is this part that I'm swinging forward back now. Okay, you don't want that back towards you any more than a 90 with the ground because you're going to be scrubbing stuff with your hoses and your cylinder. So I stick that out just a little bit. It does make you a little bit more tipsy this way, so I put my blade down every time I stop. And a clean sweep is just where you go make a swing, you know, and you're just pushing that stuff downhill and cutting it loose at the base. Everybody freaks out about my hoses dragging the ground, but I really never have any problem. So let's ease forward. Spool this thing up. There's a water meter right there, so we're going to just, and you can kind of choose how fast you make these swings based on the thickness of the material. And this too, on this side, each pass, $1.20. Really be racking up some time here. It is very expensive to run these things, so don't think that you're going to just keep every bit of that money. I need to figure it out and see what each foot costs me to cut. But what I'm doing is I'll cut these loose and let them fall down there, but if they get hung like that, I'll just reach down there and try to knock them loose as best I can. Because what they're wanting is to be able to see from up here at the road down into these properties. So you got all these stubs sticking up, just pull the head up real good and just kind of move through them. That's all there is to it, man. You just cruise along. I do have plans to get a track, you know, a 3-point boom mower for my tractor, but I watched a lot of videos on them, and if you're doing big stuff like this, I would probably end up just using my excavator because I can move back and forth. I can just kind of fine-tune the directions that I'm taking. Like up here, I don't want to see these stops sticking up. Like if I lay down on the road, I don't want those stops above the road level. That little marker. You can tell when some of these markers have just been here forever. The real estate agents that hired me, there's actually 4 of them. This thing ready to show. That's my job. So, you know, like this guy, you can kind of just grab him and go. I really like that Bushmaster, and it works really good, but I would say if it's really over, like especially now on the upsides of the banks, if it's over like maybe a 1/2 inch sapling, and even more so if it's tall, I'll probably use this mower. It leaves less debris and doesn't spread the debris out as far. I can come back to my tractor and bush hog if I want to just run along the tops of these roads and really Alright guys, so what I want to show you is how I operate during my lunch time. I've got my hat right here, I put my crackers in here, and then I wedge my tuna right there, and I'll set my Dr. Pepper up right here. And this is kind of the key to my success. I really don't take lunch breaks. I'm either eating while I'm working or driving, depending on whether I'm in the dump truck or not. So I don't encourage everybody to not take a break through the day, but I'm kind of changing things up, and I'll explain them after this quick little time lapse. I'm going to listen to YouTube, how to make better videos. I'm going to eat my lunch, and I'm going to mow this bank all at the same time. Hear me out. Okay, in this business, most of us start out as a side hustle or a side business. Well, I want to welcome one of my viewers. Skid Steer Drew is taking the leap. Coming this Wednesday, he will no longer be employed by his full-time business. He was working for the city of Boas, and I'm comfortable saying all this because he posted it on his Facebook. Drew, I want to congratulate you, man. It's a huge step. It takes a big leap of faith, and it was smart of you to start your side hustle and build a business. Drew has gotten to a point to where he was turning work down because his full-time job was holding him back. And that's one of the criteria that I've always told people. As soon as your full-time job is holding you back from achieving self-employment, if that's really what you want to follow and you want to take that step, it's time. You've got to be ready to eat, sleep, and breathe that business. But I've learned recently that you need to afford yourself some downtime. I was getting to where I couldn't keep track of stuff, and I was forgetting little things, like just a few minutes after And honestly, I was kind of afraid that I had some kind of early onset old-timers or something. But this past week, I just kind of took a break from YouTube, and that's a big thing, you know. I was going through the days, doing my job, and moving camera around, and repositioning, and then at the end of the day, sometimes 5, 6, 7 o'clock at night, I'd go home and edit videos, and that didn't leave me a lot of personal time. It didn't leave me time to focus on my wife Kelly and give her my time, which she is the most important thing to me. I was working to build, I guess, a YouTube community, you know, to where I could help you guys, but at the same time make a little extra income. Who doesn't want to make a little extra dough? But to make that story shorter, you guys and gals out there who are starting your full-time business, don't forget to listen to your family, your wife, your kids. Your time is as important to them as a little bit of extra money. And that was something that I kind of lost sight of. I would hear Kelly and she would tell me, you know, I just need your time. I don't need more money. And I was doing what I thought was best for her and my family, and I was doing what I thought, this, that, and the other. But you can't tell somebody else what they want or what they need. So we never had fights or like arguments or anything like that. Nothing major, for sure. We adore each other. We're crazy about each other. We make everybody else sick when we're around them with how much we kind of dote and pet on each other. But for my word to you, don't lose sight of what's important. And Drew, I know that when you jump into this thing and it feels like you've got to hustle all the time, and you do, you've got to hustle, leave time for the family. You're not leaving your full-time job just to have time for your business. You're affording yourself time to have that business and have more you time. Take time for yourself, have a cup of coffee in the morning by yourself or the evening, but keep your family tight. Focus on them. And that's who most of us are doing this for. Most of us are out here in the cold, the rain, the dirt, the mud, grease. We're in it for our families. Most of us are. And most of the guys that I know that are in this business are family guys. We've got wives, we've got kids, we've got, you know, for the ladies, you got husbands. And that's important, you know. Keep that in your focus. Drew, I feel like you're going to do great, man. You know, keep doing what you've been doing. Don't feel like you've got to change something just because you have more time now. Don't feel like necessarily from the start that you're going to have to pour more money into advertising, or, you know, keep your Facebook profile updated and make sure you got them vehicles decaled. And if you don't have something to do or things are slow, drive your dump truck, leave your stuff hooked up, stuff on the trailer, go to the coffee shop or go into town, drive it to the grocery store, and that way people see you moving around constantly. They see your presence. If your equipment sits at the house and it's staying there and people are driving by every day and they see you not moving, they're going to think there's something wrong. They're going to think that you don't have work for a reason that's other than things are just slow. They're going to think maybe you do bad work. Maybe nobody wants you to work for them. So keep your equipment moving. Drive it everywhere as almost a personal vehicle if it's not working. And that keeps your presence in front of the public eye. That is what's most important. I would drive my dump trucks to Dunkin' Donuts, you know, when things were kind of slow, or if I just had a day off and things weren't slow. I was driving my work trucks, and people see us zipping up and down the road all the time. They don't know if we're headed to a job or the coffee shop. So use that to your advantage. So you guys do me a personal favor. Drew's got over 1,000 subscribers, but I want you guys to, number one, go down in my comments and give a shout out to Skid Steer Drew. Say congratulations, Drew. Congratulations, Skid Steer Drew. Do something to give him some positive encouragement. He will see it, and it will give him that positive vibe, that feel-good feeling that gives somebody the drive to do what they need to do and what they want to do. And then I want you guys at the end of the video to go over to his channel, check him out. He's putting out some video. He's got like 140 videos, I think, and he's got his feet wet in YouTube, and maybe there's something you can learn from him, get some extra entertainment. and he's learning and growing as a YouTube creator. Go over there, check him out, drop some comments. Comments really help a YouTuber in the algorithm. It'll help kick things off, and it'll be an extra little bit of income for him now that he's stepping away from that full-time job. So congratulations, Drew. Go out there, do what you've been doing. Focus on the customer, focus on your family, and it's because of everything you've done to this point that's gotten you to the point of being able to step away and do your own thing, and that's key. Don't change a whole lot to start with. You can tweak your business as you go along, but change one or two little things at a time, because if you change a whole lot of stuff in your structure, you're not going to know what worked. You're not going to know what changed. It's just like with advertising. If you change all your advertising at one time, you are not going to know which change made the difference. Another shout out I want to give is to Brandon over at Elite Earthworks. Man, I've been loving your videos. You've been putting some great stuff out, and watching his videos is like watching a story unfold. He's got 18,000 subscribers. He's fun to watch, he's entertaining, and like I say, I've learned some stuff from him. You can watch techniques of an operator, even if they're not actively talking to you and teaching you, you can learn from them. And I like that he is open about when he's learning about something. He will say, I'm not sure about this, or I don't know. And that gives you an idea and a choice whether you see what's working would work for you and you can implement it on what you're doing. So Brandon, keep it going, man. Your channel is awesome. We're loving it. Keep doing what you do. Another shout out, Dirt Boss Masonry and Excavating. I think I got the title straight. I'll put it up here, as well as Elite Earthworks. I love this guy. He is absolutely entertaining, and his catchphrase, back on site, is addictive, man. It's like when his videos start, I can't wait for him to say it. He's from, I think up in New York, man, but he's just got, like, you can tell an enthusiasm to him, and like when he does it, yeah, love it, man. Keep doing that. Keep doing your channel the way you're doing. It's going to explode. It's going to be huge, and we can't wait to see more content from you. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you're having a great day. I know I am. I'm going to get back to mulching. Peace.